waiting on the bus, and I've been doing a lot of deep thinking, and I was in the shower, I was taking a hot shower, and I had a stroke of genius. Then I got out and got dressed, and I had to pee after that, of course, you know how that works. But when I was thinking about that, I realized something, that everyone's in this debate, it's a constant debate about God. Who's God? Are you God? And there seems to be like this feeling, you notice that whenever, obviously you're not God. Sometimes we can't even find our shoes or car keys in the morning. And that's really not my perception of God. Now, maybe the definition of what God is different. But from the aspect of, this is going to be the all-powerful, almighty, the one that knows where everything is, you know what I mean? Like the wolf in Pulp Fiction, or like the boss, the big parent. So I don't think that idea is too radical. Like, if we find out, who God is really a little child that doesn't know what it's doing. That's just not going to flow with us, as a society. It's just not going to work as a sellable idea. But with that said, how then can you be God? Because you know that there's some truth to that. Like I said, it's like when you say it, and you say it without sounding cocky, like, I run the whole world, I'm Donald Trump. I run everybody. Come on, that's just not realistic, and you would not want that job. And be careful, though, because if you don't want the job, guess what? That's who they give the job to. It's a long story. I'll explain that part later. But my point is this. When you say, I am God, you could have some truth in your sentence. But how is this possible? Now, when you say that you're talking to God, people often say, well, you're just talking to yourself. Well, yeah, I am, as Joan the Arc said. I am talking to myself, but it's indescribable. It is indescribable, but I think Don can find a way to describe it, especially if you guys are doing a lot of dope. I don't know what that meant, God. Okay, see, now he's talking to himself, which means to me, not that he has split personalities, but that somehow or another your mind has recognized that there is two of you. There's you, and then there's the higher you. That's the one you hired to help you out, give you advice all the time. He's probably right most of the time. Or I thought that was the guy who was always high. Which one's which? They're both high. Anyways, the higher you. I'm good, how are you? Okay. That is God. But hold on. So basically what I'm saying is you, this person that's walking around on the physical, look at my hands, look at my legs, look at my, beautiful hair in the window, in the mirror. Okay, that's God. One. This voice, this inner conscience of you, put a physical body on it, it's inside of you, it's exactly identical to you. It's identical. It's a perfect clone of you. No, not like a robot clone, more like a plant clone, like a marijuana plant. Where when you take a clone, you're basically taking a cutting off of a branch of a big giant mother plant. And you will grow, and it varies, but it's only off by like a small percentage point. The genetic drift, as it's called, is very minimal until you get into really deep, millions of clones. Genetic drift is this. Basically, if you have a clone of, let's say, Northern Lights times hash plant, which was a clone I came up with, a hybrid, as they call it, I was very good at eyeballing hybrids. I just have a natural gift for that. It was amazing. But although I got those given to me by some Berkeley students that I met that were moving out of Berkeley, they had just graduated. I was not a student at Berkeley, but I knew all the guys up there, and they would all, of course, be geniuses, but smoking weed, growing weed. And they said, do you want these clones? We're going to throw them out. I was going back to LA that day on a flight, a Southwest flight to Burbank. We put them in a shoebox, put some cologne on it, and I flew back on that flight. And within about an hour and a half from Oakland to Tarzana, I had them underneath lights. And those ended up being some of the most insane and intense strains. I only had about 10 plants that we were growing in the valley at the time. I mean, I was literally selling to like rock stars that were telling me, because I didn't harvest that much weed, that like next time you harvest, can you just put me on the list? Like they paid full price, like $4.80 an ounce. They weren't bullshitting. And so other people were telling me like, hey, yeah, Big Real from Cypress Hill smoking my shit, and I'm like, yeah, I'm sure he did, mine too. Yeah, whatever, buddy. Like I really had these stories, right? And it was porn stars even. I would get calls from people like, hey, what's up, so and so? Yeah, I'm so and so's secretary. Do you have any more of the coma? Like that's honestly. Rockstar story? That's my rockstar story. That was my 15 minutes of fame. I was the guy that they wanted to have his weed. Well, even when I was growing in Santa Cruz, I started growing so well. I just have this ability. I don't know why. It's not easy to grow indoors. People lose a lot of money. I'm going to do indoors. It's got to be easy, dude. It's like growing a weed, man. It's a weed. Then they end up selling thousands of dollars worth of equipment because they can't do it right. They gave me what were called clone onlys from SR71 Smoke Shop. That was the originator of the Purple Kush strain, the original Purple Kush. What that meant was they kept the mother plant growing. And it was clone only, where they would take a cutting from it, which meant every cutting was almost an identical plant to that. So by that one plant, the one that they found was awesome, was perfect. They could probably, if they kept it alive, take maybe even 10,000 clones, give them out for free. Every single one of those clones is essentially exactly identical to the other one. Except that... It's going...
Card not valid.
Thanks. How are you? My point was that you would have 3 U's. So you are a reflection of God, means that you are a clone of the mother plant. So, wow, what a super powerful God. Right, and another person would be their God. In other words, there could be more than one God. Yeah, there has to be more than one God. Each one has a different role. There's a you, your inner God, and then there's the highest God. And that could be explained very easily how that can be done through what I call the Ilum example. Ilum is YLEM is what they call the non-existent thing that existed before the Big Bang, because that's the biggest hang-up people have with the Big Bang theory. Is, well, how was there an explosion of something when nothing existed before that? See how your mind kind of locks up when you think about it. You go, you're right, that makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense yet. Now, it wasn't Ilum that I was shown, but I was shown something just as impossible to answer, meaning no human mind could figure it out, because that makes no sense. That's not how we function, right? And we don't use all of our minds, our brains. Now, I don't know if that's totally why I saw what I saw, but what I saw was definitely way above my head, meaning it was too advanced for me, because it answered a question just as complicated. Well, what existed before the Big Bang? I don't know. That's an impossible question. But I've seen impossible questions answered before, and it's quite a shock. So I could easily say and have faith that, yeah, a question like, well, I don't understand. How am I God? And then you're saying that I'm another version of God on Earth, and my conscious is the same exact person, but a smarter version of me, but not as smart as the God up top? Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. And I'm saying that can be explained at a certain point, but you'll have to make a couple more years of classes. But I promise you that you'll know calculus. You just got to figure out some of the geometry first, all right? Trust me. I'm not saying I even know the answer yet, but I'm saying I've seen similar questions get answered. So it's safe to say that you could be more than one person at a time. In fact, that's why you're seeing synchronicities. Why? Well, because some of these people that you meet, you guys have a lot in common, right? I mean, a lot in common. Well, that's because you're the same person. You're from the same mother plant. Get it now? That's what's going on. Right. So you found your sister, but you literally found your sister, even almost more so. Right. No, you didn't find your sister, you found yourself. As close as you're gonna get, probably. It's amazing.